The intimidating stare down there from both fighters, not one that you're going to see any self-doubt in either one of these fighters as they get prepped for our main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds as Adrian Seiber in the black trunks out of the blue corner takes on the red trunks of Charmaine Tweet out of the red corner. And Tweet cutting the cage off early and trying to get Seiber up against the fence as both exchange a kick.
Well, and Charmaine Tweet has that long reach and height advantage and that Muay Thai background, which she's going to hope to use to keep the range going. Both fighters feel comfortable on the ground, but you look at Charmaine Tweet's extensive Muay Thai background, and she's not going to want to give up that advantage.
Continuing to throw those leg kicks, a big front kick, and that one a front kick for Charmaine almost to the chin of Adrian, so gives you a little bit of an idea on the height difference between these two women.
And a nice leg catch and a takedown by Adrian Seiber. And now we'll see the ground game of both these fighters. And a good guard there by Charmaine Tweet.
Well, and Charmaine spending every day wrestling with Chichi Gonzalez, and anybody who saw him fight in Estevan knows exactly how good that ground game can be. May have had an arm there, but ended up having to slide back into the guard as Adrian Seiber did a good job of defending that, having the arm up there, coming across with a big elbow thrown there by Charmaine.
Yeah, and you hear "be active" coming out of the coach's corner of Charmaine Tweet, and active as she's being, continuing to shrimp and move backwards, trying to get a position in which she can land. Adrian Seiber not doing much in the top position except defend. There's a nice pass, and this is maybe where she can get to work, perhaps dropping some elbows there.
A knee into the side of Charmaine Tweet. And again, like you mentioned, Jeremy, it'll be Adrian Seiber trying to find a position here and is trying to pass and almost has the full mount, now does have the full mount and is on top of Charmaine Tweet. We'll see if she can do anything from here as she's got the mount and almost 3 full minutes to work with it.
Yeah, and you look on the left leg of Adrian Seiber, and there's a big red mark from a kick there. So you can see the effectiveness of the kicking of Charmaine Tweet. Now that she's got her head up against the cage, she's going to want to push to be able to get her back up and be able to stand up. But good punches being landed here by Adrian Seiber.
Seiber continuing to work on top, and as we've seen all night, the dominant position really works for the judges' favor. Charmaine Tweet may have been landing the primary strikes earlier when she had her in the guard. However, since she's got into the mount and doing a good job of keeping her in the mount, Adrian Seiber has landed the better of the exchanges here.
And trying to come through is Charmaine Tweet, unable to do so. Good center of balance there by Seiber, and you can see big punch landed there, made the space, and Adrian Seiber caught Charmaine Tweet flat on the face.
Right in front of us up here at cage side, and trying to spring her back when she felt like Seiber's hips had maybe gotten too high. Charmaine Tweet trying to spring out, but unable to do so, and gets a couple punches for her trouble.
Well, and the thing with female fighters is they have extra flexibility compared to men, so you'll see positions that you might not see in the male ranks, and you see how flexible Charmaine Tweet is to be able to reach her legs all the way back. Now she's looking to be able to counter, gets out of a dangerous position. Big shots being landed, though, by Adrian Seiber.
And Seiber dropping a big elbow a moment ago, missing with this one here as she continues to drop punches, and Charmaine Tweet trying to use her legs to try and stop the arms of Adrian Seiber, but unable to do so. Seiber will pop up, land a couple punches, and then get back into this tight position. Now we've got an arm triangle possibility here from the top as Seiber maybe trying to put the choke on, but is unable to do so. Had the neck crank a bit, so far so good for Adrian Seiber here in round number 1 with 45 seconds to go. Spent the bulk of round 1 on top now, and maybe just looking for a submission there and trying to pull out the arm of Charmaine Tweet and get in there and secure a submission. But so far so good for Adrian Seiber here in round number 1.
And doing a good job staying in good position. These aren't necessarily landing clean, but they are landing and doing damage, and they are landing in the eyes of the judges. Again, you see the flexibility here by Charmaine Tweet trying to stop those arms with her legs. And we're down here to 10 seconds left on our feature fights clock. And you hear the clap there.
I think Adrienne Seiber thought that was the end of the round. She got up for a moment and stopped and tried to pull the arm bar, was unable to secure it. So Charmaine Tweet finds herself on the bottom for most of round number 1. Adrienne Seiber, a very impressive performance here in round number 1.
And now we're gonna see where cardio cut plays into it, because we're through first round here, and we do know that in a standing position, Charmaine Tweet has a decided advantage. You can see the welts on the legs of Adrienne Seiber, and Seiber was quite effective once she was on the ground. You see some of the shots being landed here, and again, that unique defense of trying to put the legs back to stop the arms, but all these shots landing, doing damage, and here's the attempt at the armbar.
Yeah, that's the very end of round 1, and you got to think if she had maybe tried that 45 or a minute earlier, then she might have ended up successful, but trying it with just 5 seconds left in round number 1, maybe trying to catch Charmaine unawares as the round wound down, but unable to do so, and now Adrienne Seiber will come out and try and improve on that round 1 performance. Charmaine Tweet, I think, has got to keep this fight on her feet to retain that reach and striking advantage. Underway round number 2, the fighters touch gloves and they are back at it.
She's circling to the left, she's circling left, heavy feet, heavy feet. Strike with her, yes, stay with her. She's heavy
Both
on her feet.
fighters throwing big leg kicks.
She's heavy on her
Another
feet.
good leg kick there by Charmaine Tweet.
Chop her down, she's heavy on her feet. She wants
In talking to Char's coaches before the fight, they said they expected Adrienne to come in, try and take her down and work ground and pound, and that's exactly what she did in round number 1. And we'll see what they told her between rounds to see what they're able to do here in round number 2.
Well, the most important thing is when she has those big leg kicks, she has to bring her leg back immediately to be able to take that catch. Nice leg kick there. And here, rushing in, a bull rush up against the fence, is Adrienne Seiber pushing Charmaine Tweet there, and Charmaine looking to counter, and possibly has that standing guillotine, but it doesn't look like it's in very tight. And here you end up with Adrienne Seiber on top with a ton of time.
Well,
3 minutes, 52 seconds.
I certainly don't think Charmaine Tweet tried to drop in with the guillotine there. She secured the head, but it was a nice takedown from Adrienne Seiber as she caved in the back of that one knee and secured the takedown, like you were mentioning earlier, Jeremy, the old school wrestling style of put one hand behind the knee, buckle the knee, and that means that your opponent's going to go down. And that's what Seiber did there. And again, winds up on top, and she was very effective in round number 1. We'll see what she can do here in round number 2 if she can pass and regain that mounted position.
Striking from the bottom is Charmaine Tweet, but again, we talk about being on the bottom. You don't want to be there. It looks bad in the eyes of the judges. Nice knee landed by Adrienne Seiber.
Again, posturing up, putting her weight down on Charmaine in the top half, holding her down, limiting that striking ability, and trying to work from that position.
Would you look at the powerful legs of Adrienne Seiber when she was up, and they are going to call her up to a neutral position. So again, this is advantage Charmaine Tweet, but if you're not being busy enough on the ground, this is what's going to happen.
A little bit surprised he stood them up there. It felt like Adrienne Seiber was landing strikes, and again, right back into the takedown. And you can see, Jeremy, that welt on the leg of Adrienne Seiber, now even bigger just above the knee from a second round of damage. And that power base isn't going to be there, but those takedowns do score points with the judges, and now she'll have to continue to work here, knowing that referee Mark Aparicio not hesitate to stand them up.
Well, and it's just a question of you got to keep the action going, and that's the officials are designed to do that. That's what their job is. And I'm sure he verbally warned Adrienne Seiber multiple times. You got to keep busy, got to keep busy. And again, from the guard, Charmaine Tweet does some damage, but again, she's on the bottom, and it can't look good to judges.
Again, Adrian Seiber on top here in our main event. The first ever female main event for the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship. They will stand them up again, and with a minute 35 left in round number 2, Charmaine Tweet's gonna have to score some points here with the judges after 2 consecutive takedowns. And it looks like a third one is on its way, and it is. Another nice takedown. Adrian Seiber just pushing through Charmaine Tweet and not taking no for an answer, but Tweet might have a guillotine here. It would be an arm-in guillotine if she has it, but that arm may be under the chin, and Tweet now pressing, trying to get, and Seiber doing a good job to muscle out.
Especially since Charmaine Tweet had that body triangle, so it wasn't getting anything going, or there wasn't going to be a grip broken there.
Well, and we talk about this a lot in the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship when we see fighters with a significant height and reach advantage, is that yes, you've got the height and reach advantage, but your opponent has the advantage of having that much more weight in a much smaller package. So you're allowed to have more muscle mass. You're allowed to, when it does get to the ground, it's harder for them to push them off because they've got to push more off in a smaller package.
Yeah. And it looks like he's calling them up again. Now you look at the corner, and the corner of Adrian Seiber is the first couple they were okay. This one they were quite upset because they thought that Adrian was still doing some damage on the ground, and I agree. But Mark Aparicio is the one in there, and he's making the decision to stand them up to keep the fight going. And a big shot landed by Adrian Seiber. I think she's surprised that she landed that shot.
Well, a big shot to end round number 2 to put an exclamation point on what, again, on the judges' scorecard has to go to Adrian Seiber. She was dominant with takedowns. She controlled the fight, and while she may have been stood up 3 times, she still was the dominant fighter in that round. Charmaine Tweet's going to have to finish her off if she wants to get a win here tonight. And moved to 2-2.
Yeah, if you look at Mark Aparicio went over and talked to Adrian Seiber to discuss why it is that she was being stood up. And as he was describing it, she said, "Yeah, absolutely, I understand." So maybe she feels again that maybe she feels that she should have been stood up. So it's going to be tough here. I scored 2 rounds to 0 for Adrian Seiber right now, so Charmaine Tweet's going to really have to come out, and you can tell that's what Ron Gonzalez is telling her right now.
Yeah, Gonzalez in the corner of Tweet, emphasizing you got to stand, you got to strike, you got to avoid that takedown, and when she bull rushes at you, sidestep, whizzer, whatever you need to do to keep her from securing the takedown. And just got a better look, by the way, on the replay there of that big punch thrown by Seiber at the end of the round. Connected with Char's shoulder and not her face, even though her face went back. Sounded good from here, but that height advantage taking into account in favor of Charmaine Tweet.
It's the jaw on any regular height girl.
That's all she's got. Use the head, set up the legs. Let's go. Come on, Char.
So again, a more cautious game plan here in round number 3 by Adrian Seiber, and her corner may be telling her that they think she's up 2 rounds to nothing and not to necessarily engage and allow Charmaine that knockout punch. But again, securing a single leg takedown now and trying the guillotine, and now has the back to Charmaine Tweet. And Charmaine, after spending 2 rounds being dominated on the ground, now doing a little bit of it on her own, and we'll see whether or not Adrian Seiber can turn into this and get out of it. But now she's given up her back, and Charmaine Tweet with those long limbs is not going to give it up too easily.
Yeah, she's a little bit high right now, so she needs to watch her position, but she does have both hooks in, so it's going to be difficult for Seiber to come on top, but she's going to be able to sneak out the back and ends up on top. And Charmaine Tweet needs to immediately push herself off the cage. She cannot remain down here. She needs to be pushing herself up right away.
Yeah, with 3.5 minutes remaining in the third and final round of our main event here for the School of Hard Knocks 25, a presentation of the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship coming to you live from the Seiber Center in Medicine Hat, Alberta, and it's Adrian Seiber with 2 rounds of round game dominance over Charmaine Tweet, and continuing to do so here in round number 3 after she popped up. But Tweet again going for that choke, trying to secure it, has the one arm under. It's whether or not she can secure it with the other arm and get the pressure on the neck of Adrian Seiber, who again pops out loose here and winds up in a dominant position against Charmaine Tweet.
Yeah, and again, Seiber is staying busy. That's the important part, that she doesn't want to get called up. She wants to stay down here. She's figured out that Charmaine doesn't necessarily have the ability to get off her back with her on top of her. So she's making sure to stay busy so the referee doesn't have an opportunity to call them standing.
And now is passed into the half guard, and more of it now a rubber guard attempted briefly there by Charmaine Tweet, but she abandons that and now is back into full guard.
Look for the elbows! You got it! Quick inside, quick inside!
Coach is in the corner of Adrian Seiber, making sure to tell her to keep both her arms in. We discussed that earlier. Knees to your elbows, that keeps both your arms safe, keeps you away from triangles, which at this point in a fight is the move that is going to be used, because again, the bodies get sweaty and it's able to slip out.
Adrian Seiber still on top here in round number 3, as she was for the better parts of rounds number 1 and 2, and postures up and tries to land a strike. But again, Tweet doing a very good job using her long limbs to keep Seiber from really landing any damaging strikes, but she doesn't need to land damaging strikes as long as she remains in a dominant position, Jeremy.
Yeah, and Charmaine Tweet needs to adjust her game plan. She can't just defend here. She has to feel that she's not winning this fight. I don't see how she can be in that range, so she's got to be attempting things, and she's not as active as I would like, and I think she's hoping that the official will be standing her up, but give credit to Adrian Seiber for remaining busy on the top.
Continuing to move forward, 1 minute left now in our main event, as Adrian Seiber continues to be in a dominant position on Charmaine Tweet. And Charmaine's gonna have to look for a submission here really quickly if she wants to finish it, and she won't get that chance. Now it's gotta be knockout or nothing, as the referee stands them up with 40 seconds to go. And this may turn into a slugfest here in the last couple seconds as Adrian Seiber shoots for the takedown. Charmaine Tweet obviously looking for the knockout blow, throws the knee, and Seiber gets her up against the cage and will be looking to secure another takedown here. Tweet's got to create some distance if she wants to get a knockout, and she's going to have to do that in a hurry with just 15 seconds left in our main event.
Yeah, Seiber's in no rush to take her down. That's where she could be tapped out. There's no danger of being tapped out in a standing position, so I'm just going to push you up against the cage and secure my victory. Great game plan here by Adrian Seiber, and looks like she's going to win this one. I would give it 3 rounds to 0, and she can take a lot from this. And Charmaine Tweet definitely going to have to go and work on that jiu-jitsu to be able to get off her back when put down there. Every fighter ends on their back, and Charmaine Tweet just needs to maybe work a little bit of the jiu-jitsu on that as well. So as we await the official decision, definitely want to let you know that you can find out all the information about the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship, www.hardknocksfighting.com. You can follow us on Twitter at HKFighting. Of course, Ryan and myself, Ryan is at Podcaster Ryan, and I am at Real Ginger Ninja. Feel free to follow us along for all your information as we look at the replay here. Big knee by Charmaine Tweet, and this is just the end of the fight here as Adrian Seiber pushes her into the corner and has to, at this point, feel that she's won. Takes a little bit of damage, but 3 rounds to 0 is the way I've scored it. We'll see if the judges agree. The official decision is in. Here's Jaden Nance.
The official decision brought to you by Days Off Pub and D&D Oilfield Services. We have a split decision this evening. Judge Peterson scores it 30-27, Seiber. Lyons scores it 29-28, Tweet. And for the winner, 29-28, in the